In this lecture, we are going to study about fundamental concepts of managerial economics. In that, detailed explanation is going to be regarding discounting principle. So, managerial economics, we all know, it's an integration of economic theories and business practices for a successful business administration. Managerial economics gives you 6 basic principles which will be helpful in your successful business administration. Those 6 are 1. Incremental principle, 2. Concept of time perspective, 3. Discounting principle, 4. Opportunity cost principle, 5. Equimarginal principle. In that, we are going to study about discounting principle. So, discounting principle is a widely used concept in economics. Not only in economics, we can also use this in psychology. Discounting principle is an extension of time perspective. So, since future is unknown and incalculable, there is a lot of risk and uncertainty in future. So, in order to face this uncertainty and risk, discounting principle helps you a lot. So, discount is an attracting feature used by the seller to attract his buyer. Discount means reduction in price of a commodity or a concession given to the amount paid by the buyer. So, when referring in economics, the principle defines a value that will be received in future based on present financial terms. Factors like inflation, depreciation to assess the values in equal terms will be helpful. In psychology, discounting principle refers to someone who attributes a cost to an eventual outcome. Discounting in psychology is sometimes intervened with augmentation principle, which takes the discounting principle evaluation and then adjusts choices based on this. In economics, we can understand discounting principle in 2 terms. 1 in savings, 2 in terms of cost benefit ratio. So it is almost impossible to discuss the value of any asset, cash or real assets without taking into consideration the discounting principle. So this principle is useful for personal as well as business assets. In savings, everyone knows that a rupee available today is worth more than a rupee will be 2 years from now. So it is simply that in the intervening period, a sum of money can earn a return which is ruled out if the same sum is available only at the end of the period. Savings. So everyone has heard the phrase that a rupee does not buy as much as it is used to. So this is the effect of discounting. Over a time, money has been devalued based on inflation and world economic and currency changes. While it is easy to look back at and adjust today's savings account to a past value, forward thinking with the discounting must project the inflation rate over a time. That is, for example, if you buy a book for 100 rupees this year and the inflation is 2% for the year, you need to pay 102 rupees to have the same book next year. That is, the purchasing power has been raised from 100 to 102 rupees. In technical parlance, it is said that the present value of 1 rupee is available at the end of 2 years is the present value of 1 rupee available today. So, for example, suppose you are offered a choice of rupees 1000 today and 1000 next year. Normally, we select 1000 today. This is true because the future is uncertain. You may or may not get the 1000 in future. Today, you are receiving 1000 which is of an adding benefit. And moreover, the 1000 today is more worth than 1000 a year later. So let us assume you can earn a 10% interest during a year. You must say that I would be indifferent between 1000 today or 1100 for the next year. Rupees 1100 has the same present worth of 1000. Therefore, for making a decision in regard to any investment which will yield you a return in future, it is advisable to find out the discounting rate. The tool used to find out the discounting rate is net present value. Unless these returns are discounted and the present value is calculated, it is not possible to judge whether or not the cost of undertaking the investment today is worth. So, it is the duty of the managerial economist to calculate the discounting value of any project or future payments and with the help of net present value and judge the profitability of the project. Discounting principle with the help of cost benefit ratio. Business owners assess strategic plans based on how much money goes into the proposed project and what the return will be. That means the decisions on the new projects can be taken based upon future value, not the amount value which you are receiving today. So, if the project extends over a longer period of time, the value of today's money is not the same. So, the cost benefit ratio need to be calculated for the proposed project, which will have you an idea of how much return a business can earn after a period of time. The cost benefit ratio is defined by dividing the proposed benefit by the proposed investment. As a businessman, we always want to have more profit for the given investment. So, in order to calculate the proposed benefit for the investment made today, will give you the understanding on whether to reject the project or to accept the project based on the profit margin. So, for example, the benefit is determined. For example, if a cost is 1000, for example, if the cost is 1 lakh rupees and the benefit is anticipated to be 2 lakh rupees with a 3% inflation averaged over 2 years, the ratio would be 20% inflation rate added to the 2 lakhs profit for each year of 2 years. So, the proposed return will be 2 lakhs 8,080 rupees. So, based upon this and based upon company's profit policy, the managerial economist has to take decision whether to take up the project or to go in for another new project. It does not say always to reject a project. You can always have an amendment or cost changes in order to match your future returns. The main tool used to calculate the returns are net present value. The principle involved in the above discussion is called discounting principle, and it is explained as if a decision affects cost and revenue at future dates, it is necessary to discount those costs and revenues to present values before a valid comparison of alternatives is possible. So, the concept of discounting principle in managerial economics is very useful in decision problems pertaining to investment planning and capital budgeting. The formula used for computing the net present value. Net present value is the key indicator or key mathematical formula used to calculate the discounting price of the proposed project. So, the formula for computing the present value is V is equal to A by 1 plus I, where V is present value of the proposed project. A is invested amount. For example, if we take 100 rupees as an investment and I stands for rate of interest. In a hypothetical example, let us see how a net present value will be calculated for a proposed project of rupees 100. So X or A value here is proposed investment is rupees 100 at the rate of 5% for an year of 1 year. So if I substitute the values in the given mathematical formula, V is equal to 100 by 1 plus 5%. So 5% can be written as 0.05. That is V is equal to 100 by 1.05, as we are calculating it only for 1 year. So the value will be rupees 95.24. That is the amount invested today. In the given example, it is 100 rupees is equal to the amount after 1 year is 95 rupees 0.24 paise. So the 100 rupees invested today is not the same as the amount we are reaping after an year. So similarly, this case is only for 1 year. In case if the number of years are increased for 2 years, so the formula will be changed as V is equal to A by 1 plus I whole to the power of N. N will be number of years. In our example, I took 2 years. So if I calculate the net present value of a proposed investment of rupees 100 for 2 years, then how the calculation will be? V is equal to, that means net present value is equal to A 100 by 1 plus I remains the same 5% interest rate, that is 0.05. So 1 plus 0.05 to the power of 2. So in 2 years, the value of money will be reduced further. This is how a mathematical formula will help a managerial economist in calculating the net present value of the proposed investment that he is taking today. The discounting principle have many uses in managerial economics. The valuation of NPV, that is net present value of a business, is a part and is useful in demand forecasting of the product. Next, it is helpful in calculating the present and future value of money. Third, it is also useful to assess the risk of investment made in a project. Fourth, it represents opportunity cost for the company. It will help you to identify the opportunity cost for the company, and it acts as a hurdle rate which will evaluating investments, and it is also used in comparing different investment proposals. So when there is an opportunity to select 2 or more principles, discounting principle will help you to identify the opportunity cost of each project and helps you to decide which project can be taken for your future aspects. So likewise, discounting principle will help you in analyzing the project proposals and identifying the best project which will be of more profitable to the company. As a managerial economist, calculating the discounting principle in case of new projects or new proposals or even in the existing products will be lead to a successful, that is high profit business.